So far, we have covered all the topics that are related for a cloud engineer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There was one topic, and this is also a kind of important one, which is a cloud front. So this come into the picture whenever you deploy any app or any application website on your cloud. The problem is if I deployed, you have to deploy on a certain server, right? And that server is going to have a certain location, region. Either it could be Mumbai, either it could be Stockholm, Europe. Okay. So what happened when a people from other country or other continent try to access that application? If that application contain lots of microservices, then then the services get little lagging. Okay. When you click on a button, it will take little time and then switch to the another page. So the problem comes because of the distance. If the distance get higher, distance increases, then the access get uh, little lagging with the application that you are using. So in that way, AWS come with a solution known as CloudFront. The name itself says CloudFront means from the front, it will provide you some kind of a solution which will make ease to access your application and you won't face such lagging over there. What are the other, sorry, what are the other reason of lagging in your application? Can you tell me? What could be the other possibility of lagging in your application?
Other possibilities.
Mhm. One is the region, that the region that you are
Yeah.
working trying to access and the region where it is being deployed is way too far. So in that case, you will be having lagging phase. You will face the issue of lagging. What is the other?
And
What
also
could be the
maybe
other reason?
huge data, maybe.
You're close, not huge data, huge traffic. If
Okay.
certainly there is a huge traffic demand on your website, suddenly your website start working slow. If other
Mm-hmm.
microservices are not aligned together in a very properly way, if you are not using very advanced microservices like the Kubernetes, EKS, and the Docker part, then you will be facing such lagging as well. Generally, it happens in the government website. So at the last day of, if you have some form filling, and the very last day, you will find a lot of people come at the same time to fill the form, and suddenly the website get hang or website is throwing some kind of a error, are unable to load it. So these are some of the issues, and CloudFront deal with the one of the issues. Okay, let's see. So the situation is like I want to serve my website globally with a low latency. Low latency means the lagging time should be as minimum as possible. That's the main solution. If you have a good website, you would expect, even the user also expect that anywhere from any part of the region of this world, they easily be able to access your application. That's the main motive. If your website is simple, okay, contain only 1, 2, 3 web pages, like simple HTML and CSS, then it will be a fast loading website, minimum design. If it contain minimum design, then the loading time is very less and you can easily work on it. User is not going to face any lagging issue. But the problem comes when your website become very heavy. And how your
Mm-hmm.
website getting heavy? If you're using 3 tier of web application, if you're using a lot of heavy videos, high graphic photographs, okay, 8K videos. So such things, if you are using multiple microservices aligned together. So if such things are you using on your website, then accessing all those things at a single time, it become very clumsy and very heavy for the website to run from one region. So the picture looks like this. So the easiest solution earlier, it used to be that people, what they used to do, the same application they used to deploy in 2, 3 servers of 3 different region of this world. Okay. So what happens? One deployed in Europe, other deployed in Mumbai. So Asia you covered, Europe you covered. So you won't be facing latency in this one. You will get low latency in Europe and Asia, but when it comes to Australia or North America, South America, you may face. So earlier they used to deploy their application on multiple EC2 instance of different region. Okay. So user in the Europe can easily access, user in the Asia could easily access. Okay. But again, the problem is these server cost heavy, right? You have to pay for continuously, you have to run the server and you have to pay heavy for that. So even though it's a working, but it's not cost effective. Okay, so far everything is clear.
Yeah. So basically, CloudFront means putting at the nearest location, right?
Yeah, but in what way? Does it provide a server or what? So there comes the cloud part. So it's a
Okay.
CDN type of service. Okay, CDN basically content delivery network. Okay, that is speed up your delivery of your web content to the user by caching. This is the main answer.
Mm.
So it cache your all the data to the nearby location, okay, at the servers close to them. Okay, instead of uh, fully deploying your application on a physical server or any server, they cache the data on the server which are already available. Okay, they use these server for the they use other servers, other location server as well. For example, the people who provide you internet, they even use the server of their server also they use for caching the data. So basically, caching cost very less amount of size. Okay, and the delivery time is very quick. So close to them and improving the load time and perform globally.
Cachings, like
Caching is,
copying.
I'm telling you, no, not copying. So when I come to any website, okay, and suppose if I want to search about Kubernetes, okay, and see right now it is in different blue color, okay, whereas these are in different color. This is in purple
Yeah.
color, right? Even though
Yeah.
I opened just now, but it remembers that earlier I opened it. So
Okay.
this data that I opened it earlier, it cached somewhere. So caching is
Okay.
basically storing a
Storing.
data. Yeah, when you come first time and when you enter your details, credentials initially, it says that do you want to cache your data? You may face in a lot of website. Whenever you visit any website, they will ask you, see here, we use cookies. Okay, cookies and caching are almost same. Okay, cookies is also storing your data, and caching is also kind of a providing you the quick response data. So we use cookies to enhance the data, site navigations, analyze site uses, and for marketing purpose. Basically, here it takes your data. Caching provides you the data quickly. So that is the benefit of
Mm.
having cache. So understood what is caching?
Yeah.
So if I do AWS Cloud and caching, so this is how it looks like. Your website is this. Okay, user is going to access your website, but your website is actually stored over here in this location. Okay, so in between the edge location simply means the server which is storing the cache of your data, your website data, caching one. Okay, it's not the server. It could be the server of AWS. It could be the server of other any platform, but they cloud AWS is managing this part. I wish that map. I'm looking for a map. There was a very good map. Yeah. Okay, here it is. So this is the CloudFront map. Okay. Now, if you are seeing this orange one, these are the regional edge cache. What do you understand by that one? If I open, if I open AWS over here, so these are the locations, right? Where the main data center of AWS is available. Okay. So what happens, this orange one, that the bigger circle that you are seeing is the physical data server that are available. Where you're, so in Mumbai, you will find, in India, you will find one. Okay. In Europe, you will find one. North and South America, two. It's like this one, Europe East, Europe West. And then there is a multiple edge location. Let's cover this one first, and after that we'll come to this one. Understood what is the meaning of AWS CloudFront? We'll come back to that one. But
Yeah.
so far you understood. So
Yeah.
it's a CDN. Okay, CDN means there are multiple type of CDNs. Okay, in which CloudFront is one of them. Content delivery network. Okay, if I show you what are the other services. CDN, AWS services. So I guess CloudFront is the only one in Amazon.
Okay.
S3 is also a CDN. Okay. Because
Mm-hmm.
through S3, we are also providing the delivery, we are supporting the delivery task as well. So Amazon S3 is again a CDN type of service. So cloud delivery, any service which is delivering cloud or which is deploying your application on cloud to the user, directly to the user, so that user can directly access it. It's a CDN type of service, content delivery network. So this is my website. This is the S3 bucket where my all data is being stored. Okay, this is the EC2 instance where my application is stored. And these in between are the multiple regions from where your viewers are looking. So in complex way, it looks like this. So these are the teams. Okay, don't focus here. This is my user, web user. The web user directly, whenever request, it comes to the CloudFront. Okay. CloudFront access this from the cache of Amazon S3. Okay. So if there is some notification through Lambda, if people are made some kind of a notification in Lambda, it will go over there. Otherwise, it will directly go to your VPC or your EC2 instance from where your application is being stored. This is the background of your application. So no need to worry about this one. So your application is coming through this S3. Okay. Notification is getting pushed through S3. If it is serverless, it will come to the Lambda. Okay. Otherwise, it will directly respond back to the CloudFront and provide the user to access the your website. So this is a complex picture of one of the scenario where AWS Lambda is also being used. Okay. But you can use it, you can't use it. That's totally on you based on the kind of a service you are providing through your website. Any confusion?
No, actually. So if this CloudFront doesn't have the data, so then what will happen?
So then if the website is complex, then the direct data will be fetched through your S3 bucket or your EC2 instance. Okay. Wherever
Mm.
your EC2 instance in whatever the region it is being assigned. Okay. If the user is close to that region, they won't face the latency. But if the user is very much far away, like in other two different continents, then the user will face the latency. So just to avoid the latency, we use the CloudFront
Yeah,
or
yes.
reduce the latency. Okay. So this is the big picture, which says AWS CloudFront primarily cache static contains. What do you mean by static contains?
Like s- like videos maybe, yeah.
Correct. Here it is mentioned. Images, CSS file, which designs your website, JavaScript, which provide the animation in your website, and the videos. These things always remain same. Okay.
Yeah.
So it can also cache the dynamic content. Okay. The thing which changes is your HTML or API response. Okay. Based on the API response, the content we provide, it could be dynamic one. You don't know, there could be multiple APIs for one application. Okay, like my own organization company's website having different APIs for a single feature. So so you cannot cache all the APIs, right? So based on the API, if different API is being asked, you have to provide the response accordingly. So these things also can be cached as per this. Okay, it is big difficult compared to the static data if configured with the caching policy and the headers. Okay, these are the policies. If you configure this one, you will be able to cache all the static data, mostly for the static data. Okay, so by default, the sensitive or the user specific data and the backend logic are not cached. Okay, your database, the backend part of your website shouldn't be cached. Okay, you don't want the user to access such things. And cache behavior is controlled via TTL, that is transfer protocol, this kind of thing. And cache behavior and the origin header. These are the kind of, you can say, the part of cache policies or the properties. While doing the cache, you need to maintain all these three things. Okay, you can learn about this one in detail. But so far, to cache your data, you require these three things on the server. So this is the backend part. Okay, you don't have to do it all these things. You just have to set up a CloudFront from by yourself, and that's it. Rest of the things, this cache part will be handled by AWS CloudFront. You don't have to do such things. Okay, so it is more effective on your static data, static content. Any confusion?
No.
So the thing that we said that it's based of infrastructure, where is that part? Okay, we'll come to all these things later on. Right now, let's see the map. Okay, so edge location simply means the location where your cache data is being stored. Okay, Mm, let's see Africa, Asia Pacific. So if you see in Asia Pacific, I can filter from here. Mhm. Can I? Mhm. No worries. See, in Asia Pacific, you know that in India, there is only one location that they provide, and that is Mumbai, right? If I go here, if you see in Asia Pacific, especially in Asia, India, only Mumbai, they are providing their one data center, main data center, right? And nearby,
Yeah.
you will find the availability zone. But when it comes to cache, see how many Indian location. You have Bangalore, Bhopal, Bhubaneswar, Chandigarh, Chennai, Coimbatore, Delhi, and these are all. These
This
all are
cache
Indian
location
places.
also is like a physical location, right?
They are physical location, but they are for different purpose. Okay,
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
specifically for the cache. We are kind of a borrowing their few spaces for caching our data. That's it. So that's how we are providing our website quickly with low latency to all these people who are nearby. Okay, all over India, you won't, nobody will find lagging in your website. Understood.
Like I
So
don't get
region.
this
Mhm. Yeah.
actually.
So what is the thing that you are not getting? The cache part, right?
Like this now this all parts in India, like they
Mhm.
for caching they build like the physical servers to store, or how?
No, like internet service provider, you have ISP,
Okay.
like Airtel data, whosoever is providing you the internet. Okay, they have their physical data over there for their purpose, right? But they are not going
Mm.
to utilize that whole server. So what AWS does, AWS contact those all peoples. Okay, they ask if you guys have available data in your data center. Okay, we required chunk of that one for caching our data. Okay,
Okay.
because not we are not going to host the whole we cache the whole website, the backend part, the
Mm.
database, only the static part of that website. Okay, so for such
Okay.
purpose, we just borrow few space or few storage from those ISPs. ISP is
Okay.
one of the example, internet service provider, because that is available all over India. Okay. So we basically contact with all those service networks who have their own data center and they are operating in a small region. So we just ask them for the small storage. On behalf of that, they pay a little bit amount, okay, which are very minimal, not much. So that's how it works. They are not going to
Mm.
set up the servers for these many locations, data center for these many locations. No, they don't. Already the people who are providing internet or some kind of a storage over there, AWS connect with them and create this one. So these places are actually known as edge locations. Okay, not the cache location, edge location. So there are multiple edge locations. In purple, you can see these are the multiple edge locations. In blue, the only edge locations. Okay, separately they have different. Okay, but at one place they have multiple edge locations. So here you can't see because only few dots is here, only 4 or 5 dots, but all the name you can see over here, right? So you can do a little bit more research on this one. Okay. Mm, that are these caches, who are the providers of this cache. So you
Mm.
will get a lot of people, not only a single one, lot of service provider are there who is providing this kind of a services. Okay. On
Yeah.
behalf of them, if you see their pricing as well, if I go here, check their pricing. So it is almost free. Okay, as a part of AWS free user. Just CloudFront is free for the use. Okay. So what comes under free tier? 1 TB of data transfer out to the internet per month. Now, how do you understand 1 TB? It means some static data if people are accessing. Okay, some kind of internet is being used for that purpose. So if 1 TB of data transfer is there, so for that 1 month, you won't be charged for that one. If you cross this 1 TB mark, then only you'll be charged. Plus 1 million, 10 million HTTP or HTTPS requests per month. And that is huge. If your website containing this many traffic, you are ready to pay a good amount for this HTTPS request per month. Okay. So free SSL certificate, it also provide you a domain name. Okay. So if anyone wants
What
to
is,
host their, Mhm.
can you explain on SSL certificates?
Oh, sure. So if you see here, if I copy this link and paste it somewhere, suppose if I go here and paste it over here, you see it is coming with HTTPS, right?
Yeah.
If it is only HTTP, if I type only HTTP, it is SSL not verified. Secure shell information. SSL, secure socket layer.
Okay.
So this basically means it provide a no anonymous user can connect to your website. So this is a kind of a security that you get whenever you buy hosting from an authentic place. Okay, hosting name if you are buying and a domain name as well. If I go over here and I buy any hosting, suppose I go to GoDaddy. Okay, I go here. And if I buy any domain name, okay,
Mm-hmm.
if I see their pricing, what will I get?
So these companies will give HTTP or HTTPS.
HTTPS. HTTP, you don't have to require any people. Okay, you any organization, no. Only for HTTPS you have to pay. So if I check my name, some kind of this website. Okay, so this one is available. Let's go for this. Make it yours for 99 rupees. They are providing. Okay, now as per this, they will also provide you some more thing. Did they mention? Information.
That's fine then.
Okay, okay. Here it is. For hosting, they are providing free SSL certificate for all your website. So if you buy the
Mm.
hosting from any organization, they will give you this SSL certificate. They may charge, they may provide you as a free, depending upon them. Okay. So using this as a this one CloudFront, they will provide you a free SSL certificate as well, free. So anyone who wants to deploy their static web application, they can use this CloudFront for free. Okay. So it's pretty good thing. Let's go and do some hands-on on this one. Just go here. You need to have your data on S3 bucket. Okay. Your static data.
Yeah.
So if I go here, create a bucket over here. Cloud, mm, 6. Okay. You want to block publication, bucket versioning, whatever you want to do. For now, let's go with the default one. Create bucket. Okay. Maybe the name is already been taken up. Yeah. Do not use uppercase. So we got our bucket. We'll go over here. We'll upload some files. Suppose these many files I'm having. Only files I'm able to upload, not the folders. That's okay, no worries. Upload. So your website files or the static file, whatever you want, you have to upload over here. Once it gets succeeded, come back to the destination. So I can see my file is over here. You can go to the properties. If you see right now bucket versioning is off, I can enable this one. Save changes. Then what else I can do? I can uh, enable this static website hosting. Host the static index.html. Save changes. Now we have to go to permissions. Okay. So you have to, for people to access all over the globe, you have to make it enable for them. So unblock the all public access changes. Update. Bucket policy, if you see right now, it's empty. Okay. So what happens if I go, I'll duplicate this one. CloudFront. So you have to create a distribution. See, it is also talking about the AWS free tier pricing, how much it is going to charge. 10 TB HTTP request per 1,000 HTTP request. You will be charged this much amount per dollar, and per HTTPS request, you will be charged this much. Okay. So which are very less. You have to provide a distribution name, cloud S3. Then single website hosting, yes. You can provide the domain name as well. If you will, you can provide your own, or they will by default, they will give you their own website domain name. Okay. So for now, let's go with their default one. Let's do next. So I want to connect with the origin type is S3 because my website, static website is going to be on S3 bucket. But if your website is on ELB, like ELB, Elastic Load Balancer, or API Gateway, or any VPC origin, if you have, so you can connect with them as well. Right now, I have only S3, so I'll connect with S3. Okay. S3 origin, you have to tell, and automatically it will detect your S3 origin. So we created this CloudFront right now. Okay. So it detected that one. The directory part within the origin where your content is stored. So our content is stored on the root page. So no need to provide this one. Then allow S3 bucket to access the CloudFront. Yes, you have to allow it. So, and this cache setting. So it is doing automatically. You don't have to customize. Okay. We are going with the default cache setting. Okay. Enables a security protection or do not enable. Right now, I'm just keeping it, do not enable it. You can enable it as well. It's totally on you. And then everything is being done. And then create the distribution. So the moment you create it, it get connected with your, right now see the deployed, last deployed is in the process of deploying. So once it will get deployed, this website link will be open for you. So this is the default domain name that you have been given on behalf of your, this is kind of HTTPS. Okay. So if I go here, I'll refresh this one. Now, if you see the bucket policy, automatically it get filled with the AWS CloudFront principles. Okay. Get object also got filled with the name that you have for the resources. This is the CloudFront resource we have, and all our file are inside this one. Okay. ARN number also got selected by default. Any question so far?
No.
So you understood how we connect the services with the CloudFront. Okay. If all your website content is in S3 or VPC, just connect with that. Okay. Everything is simple click away. And once it get deployed, this will be easily accessible to you. And that's it. There are multiple logging things. You can go and search a lot of things. If I go to this CloudFront, a CloudFront name is being given. Okay. Here are also, it's a SaaS based. What is the full form of SaaS?
Software as a service.
Correct. Any example?
Um, this does AWS Lambda come down?
AWS Lambda? No. So software as a service means the whole software is given to you. You just have to use for the purpose of yours. For example, Microsoft PowerPoint. Okay, you don't have to worry about anything what is going on in the background. You just simply go create your PowerPoint and you're done. Microsoft Word. Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
so Excel. These are front use. Even whole AWS. is a front use, but here also you have to configure the things, right? You have to set up the environment. You cannot directly go and use AWS. You have to set up all those things. So AWS is not a SaaS. Okay. What is SaaS? Any services that is you just go and use it. You don't need required any background knowledge about that one. Simply go and use it. Okay. So all these applications that you are seeing here are SaaS. So I simply go, for example, this one Notepad plus plus. I don't have to worry about what is inside the settings and all. I can do it, but just simply I go and use my uh this one plus plus Notepad plus plus. Okay. So there are multiple tenant distribution or distribution tenant. If you want to deploy multiple file application, you go with this one, otherwise this one. Okay. Logging cache statistics. Okay. So with this one, you'll be able to see how many people are accessing from what are the locations. Okay. You can easily access that how many people connected from North America, what is the daily granularity about your website, how many people come hit your website. Okay. You can easily see all these things. So if I go here, see the distribution. So it is now being done. Okay, so I can just copy this name. Stick over here. Access denied. So some kind of a policy is being denying this one. What are other policies? Some kind of access is being denied. Permissions. This one is all bucket policy. You have to check everything is correct or not, or some any other requirement is required. Could be. Rest everything is being done. Shouldn't show. No worries. I'll take a look into this one. Okay, some kind of policy is still missing. But so far, the basic policy is that blocking the public access, which is being done. And what else? And this one, bucket policy. So this is being taken care by AWS CloudFront. You don't have to do anything over here. The only thing that we used to do was the resource type slash and star. We need to add explicitly, but here it is already being done. So I'll take a look. Where is that policy is being not granted. But so far, this is the way. Okay. Yeah. This is disabled. Generally, that issues come if this one is enabled, web application firewall. So this one doesn't allow you to connect. It's just being disabled. We don't have to worry about this one too. No worries, I'll take a look. Apart from this one, any further confusion if you have? No. We have couple of more things. Just let's look up that one. So browsers like the mini CDN by caching websites like images, CSS, JavaScript locally on the user devices, which is speed up the logging. So see, there are some CDNs which is being done on a browser level. Okay. You have seen the moment I went to this one and searched something related to Kubernetes, which I already searched in the previously. So it was showing in the purple color rather than blue, right? So this is known as browser caching. So browser caching is generally happens for a single individual users. If I'm using only for my application or only on my phone, then only it will show like that you have already earlier visited. So that's why this is readily available for you. Okay. But the CloudFront one, it doesn't work like that. If you have set up your CloudFront, it will be easily available throughout the globe, okay, with the same speed. This is again, it is available on the documentation as well, that the developer, these are the objects that is on your S3 bucket, okay. And this is the web distribution, basically your CloudFront. So whenever the user requests anything, okay, it comes through this CloudFront, and the CloudFront send the response through HTTP or HTTPS back to the user. Okay. So how do CloudFront get it? So CloudFront access all this location, all this uh, files from the cache.
S3.
CloudFront do not directly connect with the S3 bucket.
Okay,
CloudFront
okay.
connect with the edge locations. Okay.
Okay.
And edge location serves all your static data, these objects, okay, in the form of cache. So from here, it takes all these things and return back to you as a developer. But to bring your static data in this edge location, you have to connect your this S3 bucket with the CloudFront. CloudFront is already connected with the edge locations. So the moment you connect the S3 bucket with CloudFront, automatically all the data, static data, which are available on your S3 will be sent as a cache to the edge locations. Okay. So data is not being picked up from your S3 bucket, rather than it is picked from your edge locations. Understood this graph?
Yes.
In interview, they'll be asking you this, they won't go into the depth. They'll just want
Mm-hmm.
to know whether you understood CloudFront or not. Okay. They'll give you a scenario based. They might not ask you directly. Okay. The
Mm-hmm.
scenario could be if you created your website and deployed on a server which is at South America, which is another continent, and you are accessing
Mm-hmm.
from India or from Australia, and you are finding some latency over there while accessing it. So how would you resolve that latency? Okay, this kind of a scenario they will create in front of you. So whenever the word latency comes into the picture, you have to think in a two way. Is it about the location or is it about the traffic? If it is about the traffic, you directly switch to the load balancer. Okay, you will configure the load balancer and auto scaling. If it is about the location, that there is a huge difference between the user and from where the application is being deployed, then you have to think in terms of CloudFront. Okay.
Can you answer the question once you asked, like, that how can you format that
Okay,
answer?
so I'll be asking, since he is asking me about the region, okay, he
Yeah.
gave the scenario more specific to the region. So I'll directly say I'll be using AWS. If my application is deployed on cloud, I'll be using one of the feature, one of the services of AWS that is known as CloudFront, which basically cache all my static data, even the dynamic data as well, to all the near locations available, which are known as edge locations. So ultimately, if when user try to access the website data, he won't be accessing or he won't be getting the data from the location where the website is being deployed, rather than the nearest edge location, okay, which could be very near to the developer, and he won't be facing any latency while using the application.
Okay.
Understood? Did
Yeah.
I go too far? I mean, did I go too speed? No.
No, actually. No, no.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay. So these are the free tier, which includes, we looked into
Yeah.
that one, free SSL
Yes.
certificate. So any people or any user who want to build their own portfolio website, which they don't want a separate domain name, because domain name cost you amount. And if you go for hosting, again, that will cost you amount. So since
Okay.
portfolio website are the static websites, okay, it contains few content, HTML,
Yeah.
CSS, and few images. That's it. So for that, you can simply deploy it on S3 bucket, connect that S3 bucket with the CloudFront, and then you will get your SSL certificate as well. And you will get lot of traffic, I mean, lot of free access as well. Okay. And the charges are very minimal, very, very minimal compared to the one that you will have to pay on behalf of getting the domain name and the hosting. For
Mm-hmm.
me, for my own personal website, it cost 8,000 to 9,000 rupees per month, per year, sorry. Okay, which was not much that one, but it would have been got much cheaper if if I would have used AWS services.
Yeah.
Okay. Because for a static website, AWS is the best. Okay.
Mm.
Then the key difference between the CloudFront and the multi-location hosting. Multi-location hosting in the sense you have multi-location EC2 servers. So if you see the performance, optimized for the static content and the cache. Okay. Optimize for the dynamic content. Of course, if you are deploying your whole application on EC2 instance, even the dynamic content became very user friendly. Yes, you won't see any latency over there. CloudFront is good for the static content. Cost pay per use often cheaper, and here you will be cost a lot because you are using the servers. Okay, EC2 servers you are going to use. So you have to pay a lot because you have to make your server up and running all the time. Easy to use. We have seen easy to set up, minimal management. We need not to require the background check, which this one, which edge location we are going to select, or how do we configure the cache. We don't do anything. We just connected our CloudFront with the AWS S3 wherever our static data is present. Require managing multiple server instances. Of course, if you have created 4 instances, EC2 instances, you have to manage all those 4. Okay, every day you have to look into that one. Scalability, auto scale globally. Here you don't have to worry about the traffic. If traffic comes, what would happen? Because you haven't put your data on a server. Rather, your data is available on S3 bucket and it is being cached to all the edge locations. So you don't have to worry about the scalability. And here you have to require the scalability because if huge amount of traffic comes, you have to create multiple EC2 servers through auto scaling and load balancing. Then content freshness. So cache content may require invalidation. Okay. And dynamic content is always the current one. So basically what happens in this case, if you change some kind of a content on your website, you have to validate that one. Okay. Because the CloudFront doesn't know. So every time what it happens, it send request to the S3 bucket in that case. And then S3 bucket will provide the current cache. But here, all the current data will be available. This part is important, okay? Compliance, less control over the data redundancy. And here, full control. You don't have to control the data over here. But here, you can control the whole data hosted on your EC2 server. You have the full control. Understood the key differences? So
Yeah.
interviewer could give you another scenario or the counter question on that one. So if he says, see, if I have, what if I deploy EC2 server on the multiple location instead of the CloudFront? Okay, so that will also reduce my problem. So why would I use CloudFront then? So what would be your answer?
Can you ask the question again once?
So my question is that instead of using the CloudFront, what if I use multi-location hosting? Okay, my website will be flawless in that way also. Okay, and I'll be having the full access over my website too. Plus, plus what? I can manage my dynamic content as well on my multi-location hosting. Multi-location hosting basically creating EC2 machine on different region. So why should I go for the CloudFront?
Maybe like we can say cost based on the cost.
Never used maybe. Okay. You are saying
Okay.
the right, but why are you saying maybe? It means you are not sure about your answer.
Okay.
You have to be very much little bit confident with this one. Sir, you so if I would be at your place, I would answer like this. Sir, you are saying correct. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If I have huge amount of money in my pocket and I want my dynamic data, or if my dynamic data is getting updated every day or every in a certain interval of time, okay, where I can have people who can manage my EC2 server and ready to pay hefty amount of managing cost, then I may go for this multi-location hosting. But if my website is pretty easy to use, okay, not using many dynamic content, update is happening in a couple of while, okay, and I want to save some amount of money, a cost-effective way, so that I can reduce that latency and provide a good service as well. So I would go for the CloudFront. Because in
Okay.
case of if I do for multi-location hosting, I have to manage my instance every day-to-day time. I have to look into that one. If traffic comes huge, I have to do auto scaling. I have to set up auto scaling and load balancing. That is again going to charge some amount of money. And again, managing the host servers manually, it's again too difficult. So for such purpose, I would go with a simple shortcut services based on kind of the website I'm having or kind of website I'm handling it. Okay,
Okay.
so in
Yeah.
this way you can answer it, and that's all about this class.
Yeah. I have a question,
Mm-hmm.
not related to this, but
Yeah.
generally, we document, right? Like, in
Mm-hmm.
what, mostly which tool is used for documenting?
Let me pause.